So I have actually been dying to tell you this since it happened, and there hasn't been a reason to do so, you know? Like, it doesn't fit. And like, we did the playlist with the bath melts, and I have to pretend to be normal for the playlists. So I can't just do my random stream of consciousness thing. Anyway, point is, I've been dying to tell you this because while this doesn't super have anything to do with the Project Soapway Challenge kickoff that we're doing today, it kind of does. And also, it's my bar of soap, and we don't care about my bar of soap. We care about everybody else's. So, here's the news that I've been dying to tell you. I was a very spoiled girl for Christmas this year. I was definitely spoiled. And at the end of all of that spoiling, I also got something that broke my brain. And that thing is called 2 floor seats to the Taylor Swift concert. And when I tell you that my brain broke, that doesn't even begin to describe it. And that was before I actually looked at the thing and saw that they were floor seats. And getting those tickets was a journey, and one that I was like a part of for a little bit. And just we had decided that we were just not going to go to the concert. And anyway, it was a journey. It was all a thing. And I will probably talk about it in this video because it totally fits. Because this tour is called the Eras Tour. And it's a journey through the life and the catalog of Taylor Swift. And this soap was a journey. So it all fits. I'm definitely going to be talking about it. But I'll tell you about the journey that is this Project Soapway Challenge and my bar and the inspiration and all the things in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for week 10 of year 3 and Project Soapway Challenge number 4 or 5. 4, right? Yeah. And the brief that I gave the Sudzers for this round of Project Soapway was a year in review in soap form. Now, this is something that I do every year. I sort of take stock of what my year has been or whatever, and I then make a soap, right? Kind of reflecting whatever that year is. For example, 2020 was a dumpster fire. It was like the finger, what I did in the middle of the bar. Good time. Because every year in our lives kind of has a different theme, a different vibe, and we all do a little bit of reflection at the end of the year. So I thought it would be interesting and fun to see what the Sudzers came up with for this. So I'm very excited to be showcasing their bars in the coming days, but as we all know with Project Soapway, my bar goes first. Actually, to that, maybe you don't know. If you are brand new to the channel today, hi, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Today's Project Soapway. Project Soapway is a brainchild that I came up with in year 2, wherein I wanted to showcase the absolute talents and skill sets of all of the Sudzers. You, the people who brought me here and who have become this really cool community of thoughtful, like-minded people that while we are wildly different in our lives and in the things that we're passionate about, we're all very logical in thought, and we like to essentially learn all of the things about soaps and cosmetics. The Sudzers. That's why it's way easier to call them Sudzers. You know? That description's long. So in Project Soapway, I issue a challenge. I issue a brief. And the Sudzers, they listen to the brief. They see the deadline. They make the soap. They film the soap and the cut. And then they submit a picture of the finished product to my moderators, who then collect all of the pictures and give them to me and the jury And so we are choosing the 3 winners for each challenge completely blind. And then those that have won that challenge, they're then notified and they send me through the footage, and I make a video about them and I showcase their socials and them and talk about what awesome, soap makers they are, but also humans in general, because with the Sudsers, I know you and I love you, and any excuse I have to talk about you, I'm going to do it. So there's an added bonus for me too. Just really trying to use this platform in whatever way I can to get more eyes on so many of the talented Sudsers that exist. There are a ton of them. So with this one, as I said, it's a year in review, and I understand that we're in 2023, but here's the thing. I gave it to everybody, gave them kind of a short deadline in the middle of the damn season, and it just kind of didn't pan out to actually work at the end of the year because I wanted to take a break and sort of go low-key and hang out with my family, all the things. So whatever, we're doing a year in review now in January, and you're just going to be fine with that. Anyway, my 2022 was very, very interesting indeed, and it's something that some of the Sudsers know, but they only found out about in one video, kind of in the middle of it, because I haven't made it a thing, but it's been a wild ride for sure. And so that was definitely the inspiration for this bar, everything that this year was and what was important to me and what sort of kept me going and moving through what was probably the hardest year of my life. And so that's what we're doing. And true to form, since this was probably the hardest year of my life, I went ahead and made one of the hardest soaps that I've shown on the channel, in that it has 22 layers, completely straight layers. And I hate layers. So as a result, this video might get long. So let's go to the video and we can talk about why I decided on 22 layers and we can talk about why I decided to do 22 or 23 layers, in the video. This is a journey indeed. We are doing just the most with this. 23 individual layers with a heart in the middle. So there's all the calculations if you were interested in also doing that. And on the first page was, how many ounces essentially went into each layer to make that determination. And if you're wondering how I decided on all of that, well, we're mathing today, folks. So that is the actual size of a bar of soap. I traced around it. And then I drew lines until there were 23 of them. So the colored portions are all of those. I got a system, you guys. It's a system. I went all out for this. And so the colored portions are slightly bigger than the white portions. And by slightly, I mean whatever percentage it showed on that first sheet. And so I ultimately broke it into 2 different batches of soap. So I weighed out my oils for one batch, the colored portion, and I weighed out my oils for the white portion, and then made the lye solution accordingly for each batch. In hindsight, I only didn't need to do that. Could have just added it all up and had my oils and my lye. That would have been fine too. But, that's how I did it. And for each of the colored portions, I am going to be using the exact same amount of mica. Yeah, it's very precise. Like I said, I am doing the most for this one. And I'm going to be weighing out each section, the oils, and coloring them, and then weighing the cooled lye solution into each section. And we'll then, mix everything up per layer and give every single layer enough time to completely firm up between pores. Now, anybody who knows me knows that that is a terrible thing for me to say. You probably are laughing your butt off right now because I don't have patience. That is not something that I enjoy. That is not something that is at all remotely related to who I am as a person. Just no. But that's what we're going to do. We are going to be putting each emulsified, batch of soap, each color, into the mold. And I'm then going to put the mold on a heat pad. And I'm going to let it firm up completely before pouring the next row, which is a lot, and 23 layers of a lot. And also, I wish that I could say I did that on purpose because it's 2023, but I super didn't. I just wanted a really beautiful spectrum of all colors. So not just, you know, like your regular 6-color or 7-color rainbow soap pour, because I wanted to capture the essence of all of the sudsers, right? And all of their different, the colors that are their personalities or are their auras. You know, we have our spicy members with the reds, and our fiery members with the oranges and the yellows, and our very sensitive with, you know, your blues and your green, whatever. Did all the color theory with all of it is the point and what I'm trying to say. Now, with these, the white sections, I didn't actually take the stick blender to them because it's such a small amount of, you know, soap batter that's being mixed up right here. The head, it made it in, but the little spinny spin thing at the bottom, it didn't reach it. And so I hand whisked all of the white portions. But here's the thing, it's not that bad to hand whisk soap. When, you know, we do classes or whatever, I don't give people stir sticks. I make them whisk it by hand. And nobody has complained yet. I mean, they might complain afterwards, but they don't complain to my face. So there's that. You can hand whisk, especially if it's just a little bit. And that's certainly a little bit. It's such a little bit that I was actually genuinely concerned about it not being enough, because even though I, again, got all my lines and everything, and then therefore I knew that, for example, the white would be, I don't know, 0.18 of an inch, and whatever that is in a measurement that's easier to track. I knew that, and I measured everything out accordingly. So I did my calculations for how much soap batter I would need for that. So, you know, the length times width times height of the mold, length and width, and then the height, which would be the 0.18, right? And then multiply that by 0.4, and that's how you get how much oils. Anyway, I know that I did it. I just was really concerned that that small amount of soap batter was still not going to cover the, you know, layer underneath, because it's quite a small amount. Now, with all of this, I am not going to show you every single layer that I am pouring, because weirdly, I ended up with 13 different cuts, like, of footage, like 13 different videos that were filmed for all of this. Because, as I said, with each layer, I took it to the heating pad and put it on the heating pad for, like, you know, 30 minutes, an hour, a day in some cases, and just forgot about it. So I'm not showing all of the actual, like, mixing and pours of everything. So you're going to see just the colors going on to the white for all of this, because it's a lot. But 13, weird. Taylor Swift, weird. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But as I am going with this pour, in order for me to remember which color I've done, you see how all the colors are face down, they're labeled down in the little, you know, holder that I have them in. Once I've used the color, I put the label face up. So I know that that's what I've done. And so that's the way I keep track of it. Because, you know, midway through a bar like this, you kind of get confused. And especially since you're building it from the bottom up. So my top color will be red, and my bottom color is the flirt, is like the, or maybe it was voodoo. I don't remember. You saw the footage. But it can get kind of confusing. And so I thought that that would be a really good way of making sure that I got all of the pours and all of the layers and everything in the right way without messing up the rainbow, because I'm doing different hues. It's not just the 6 or 7 colors, it's all of them. And wonder of wonders, it worked really well. So if you were wanting a fun way to do that, I recommend that. It worked. And also, that's a beautiful color. Don't super know that I needed any of the green in that for what I was going for there. But, you know, whatever. It's all good. But now that this layer is laid down, I have to get to, like, probably the most stressful part of the entire pour. Because this has all been tedious, fine, but not terrible. The stressful part is going to be with the insertion of those hearts. So, with these hearts, first up, these hearts are like, I don't know, 2 years old. I want to say Georgia May made these, and so they're really, really old. There was a whole lot of soap that was left over from a project, and she just kind of put them in the, you know, in a conversation heart silicone mold, really. And so they're really, really old. They've just kind of been hanging around in a bowl in the shop forever. And I thought this is kind of perfect because I want my heart to be enveloped, with all of the love and everything that represents the Sudsers, because they saved me in 2022. And I know that I've said that, but they did. And so there's that. And then because I wanted to make sure that it was beautiful, because this was for the Sudsers and my end of the year bar. And also I got really tedious with all these layers, and I'd been so good up to this point, like properly pouring everything and not letting anything get, Mrs. Soap and Clay way, the lazy way. I made sure that they were fully set up and then carved a channel into the 3 layers, the last 3 layers that I had poured, in order to set the heart into it and, then continue my pour. It was a lot, you guys. Like I said, it was a journey. It was a really, really big journey and a lot of fun, actually. So it's always a little bit scary when you're dealing with pours like this. You don't really know, right? You don't know if it's going to work out. And once you've invested, at this point, I'd invested 2 days into this. This is day number 2. You really want it to look right, and you can get really, mad if it doesn't. And with the age of these hearts, because they're really old, I was concerned as I was putting them in that they were going to be too damn hard to cut through, and they were just going to pull through my soft soap. And it was highly stressful at this point. I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to use these hearts, except for probably I was thinking, hey, I should use these hearts. And, also Georgia May made them. So we come full circle with so many things and all the things that I love in the world, in the Sudser world, So there's that. And for the rest of this footage, I am just going to show you, just kind of like speed run all of the rest of the layers, the remaining layers, because it's like a lot. Like I said, 13 different videos were taken. I turned the camera on 13 times for this pour, and that's cool. Because Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13. And I love Taylor Swift. And we're going to the Eras concert. And that was weird. And that was something that was completely unexpected, actually. Because here's the thing. They did pre-sale for the Taylor Swift tickets, whatever, right? And fine, we're all part of Taylor Nation. We're also part of the Capital One or whatever. So Jake was working on that for a Christmas present. And I knew that he was. And, whatever. But I wasn't paying attention to it. Like, I wasn't trying to get tickets, but I was paying attention to what was going on the interwebs, and everybody was losing their mind trying to get tickets. And so we had a conversation before the Capital One sale, and we were kind of looking at how they were doing those, increased prices, kind of like surge hours for Uber and stuff. Wild. And we had decided we're not going to do this, right? Like, it's not going to happen. We are definitely not going to go to this concert. It's okay to miss it. And I was fine with that. I was legitimately fine. I mean, heartbroken, but fine. Because we're not going to spend, tens of thousands of dollars to go watch a Taylor Swift, concert from the nosebleeds. So that's what we had decided. And we did that. And, Christmas continued. So Mr. Soap and Clay got me other stuff. And I got spoiled, like super spoiled. It was nuts. It was a lot, you guys. It was so much. I had already cried a number of times. Like, I got these really cool Lego sets. I got like really nice copies of all of the Lord of the Rings histories and everything. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous books. I got whatever. Okay, I got a PlayStation 5 for crying out loud. I was freaking spoiled this year. And then there was this last box, and it was a shirt box, and it was really light. And on the tag, it said, to Miss Americana. And it was light, like there was nothing in it. And I immediately went, no, you didn't do this. You didn't do this. That has to be what this is, because there's nothing in it, and you put to Miss Americana on it. It's going to be a piece of paper saying it's the tickets, right? And I'm already freaking out. And he's like, just, it's fine. Open it up. And Soap and Clay Kid number 2 comes and sits on my lap or whatever. And I open it up. And sure enough, there were the tickets. And I immediately just like lost it. They had to do a cuddle puddle, relieving of my system in totality with that for like 25 minutes because I was just shocked. And then I saw that they were floor seats and I was just shocked all over again. Just all of the tears, all of the whatever. And Mr. Soap and Clay was able to keep the secret for exactly 4 days because here's the thing. On the 21st of December, he got an email from Ticketmaster that said he had been selected for the lottery that they had decided to do to, make up for the fact that the ticket sales were a complete fiasco. He got selected to, actually buy his tickets. We are not that lucky, especially not Mr. Soap and Clay. Wild. You know what else was wild? This pour. And of course, true to Mrs. Soap and Clay fashion, I had to ruin something. And that something is called, I let the heating pad sit on the top of it. And so there's a pattern on it. And that sucks. But yeah, this pour was an absolute journey. And I thought it was really cool that the end of this year that has been super, totally crazy, and I was just sort of held together with the Sudsers and that community and everything, that the very first bar I cut in all of this actually worked, and I saw, words on it, and it says, "You rock," because you do rock. Sudsers, you are amazing. That was everything. Like, you are just whatever. We've been through this, and I don't want to make people uncomfy with continuing to ooh and ah and gush over how important you are to me, but you are important to me. So I loved that first bar actually managed to have a word on the conversation hearts, because as you can see, most of them don't. And so that was very awesome. And it was a perfect way to end my year. This was the last bar of soap that I poured in 2022. And, another perfect way to end the year was, again, the Taylor Swift tickets. Like, we're not lucky. That's not what we are. We don't, nope. That's not our life. And it was. And what's even more about all of that, was in addition to being able to select his tickets, he got a selection that included floor seats, and they were also the original price that Taylor Swift set for this concert. So the price that we were already planning on paying and completely fine with paying, so no surge prices for these tickets. It was amazing. And that was just a really cool ending to a very weird year. And I don't know, all tied together with everything that you guys are and whatnot. It's nice to have, I don't know, to look back, I guess, on 2022 and a really hard year, probably the hardest year of my life, and see that throughout the entirety of it, the Sudsers existed. I have made friends. I have people that I consider closer than family in all of this. And I met them because of this crazy YouTube channel, because I decided to turn on a camera and start talking about whatever I wanted to talk about. And it brought you. And that's amazing. And that soap, I don't know actually what happened with those 2 layers there that went a little wonky, but just like kind of in one place. Oh, I gotta love one too. I wonder if I'm gonna make that my thumbnail. But yeah, I don't know what happened, because just in a couple of those bars are the lines not straight, but the rest of these, they're really straight lines. It's really amazing. This turned into quite a stunning bar of soap. I mean, with the exception of the top not doing what Mad Micah's True Red blend or whatever is supposed to do. That didn't work out. I trusted the process, but also, as you can see, there's some, lightness going on with all of that. So I think it's just, I didn't heat it properly. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't care, though. These are amazing. These are incredible bars of soap that are meant to represent the incredible family that I have found here with the Sudser community, my Discord Sudsers, all of the people that, I talk to on a regular basis every day, and we share in all of the things in life. it ended up being pretty perfect. All of the colors, all of the representations of everybody's different personalities, all of the love, everything. You guys are amazing. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being my 2022 happy place. And yeah, I thank you. Yep. Tell me that is not just the cutest bar of soap ever. I am in love with this. It is so awesome. And actually, it wasn't that bad because I split everything out into individual oils, individual eye solution. And so basically, I just poured one layer and then just walked away. It wasn't terrible. I had all this other stuff that I got to do in the meantime while I was waiting for all the layers to firm up. It all worked out. So I actually really love these bars. They are super beautiful. And it was fun to do a rather challenging thing for the end of, the year. And for challenges in general, because they're supposed to be challenging. So it all worked out. I mean, so as I talked about in the video, Sudsers held me together. And you all come from so many different walks in life, and you have a different color to your personality and a different aura and whatever. So I wanted to get everything in. Soap with all the colors of the world, essentially. And so that's where that design was born, and I love it. I think it's really great. And so there it is. There's mine. Mine's not important, though. As I said, I am very much looking forward to showcasing the other three in this Project Soapway Challenge, the three winners, the three Sudsers that did amazing things with their soaps and made me cry. And there's a strong chance that I'm going to cry in their footage, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. But thank you. Thank you to the Sudsers for existing. Thank you for making my 2022 bearable. Not only bearable, but great. Despite everything else. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the Discord community. Thank you for being my friend. I appreciate it. For those of you who are not Sudsers and therefore are not my friend, you could click the bell and subscribe or whatever if you want to see the rest of the videos that come out. They will be done as premieres because I like to make it a bit of an event when it comes to the Sudsers and their soapy creations. So you could do that. That'd be cool. These bars are not on soapandclay.com. I'm not selling them. Part of a giveaway I'm doing. They're staying, but I am not staying. I'm out of here for today. Thank you again for being here, for existing, for being you. I will see you all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.